And we are back again. Here it is, buddy. Take us home.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Uncommon Man podcast. I'm your host, David. This is the other host, Mike. What's going on, sir?
Hey, buddy.
Nothing, man. I think me and Mike can both agree that, this one is going to be a sour look at the state of, not only football, but the Denver Broncos, man. I think me and Mike are on the same page as far as we did not like what we saw this past Sunday. And so we're going to dive in. We're going to just give from a fan's perspective what our analysis of the game was. And, we're just going to talk. We're just going to talk football, raw, honest analysis. Let's jump into this.
Yeah, let's just start off by saying this has not been a magnanimous season by any means.
Oh, no. I think me and you both can agree that this has been an absolute shit show. Let's start with the injuries. Dude. Like, I've never, ever in my life, of all the years of me watching football, I've never seen this many injuries in a season. And not only that, if you look at the high profile players that are getting hurt, it's just, everybody's fantasy football season right now is in the shitter. Yeah. People was really banking on some of these people, but you got Chris McCaffrey going down, you got Saquon Barkley, you have Bob Miller, you got Courtland Sutton. It's just so many high profile players are just getting hurt. So many ACL tears and stuff. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, and you can't even say that this is trending, dude. The trend is a complete cliff dive. Like, it's generally these injuries happen sequentially throughout the year. There's a little bit of differentiation to them, but this is the first 2 weeks, dude. And we were just going over the numbers. There's been 36 significant injuries in week 2. Week 2, man. This is 36 should be like maybe week 10, week 11. People having a chance to go, and it's not just that too. It's significant injuries, torn ACLs left and
people
right.
People out for the season, yes.
Yeah. So it's
Jesus.
Torn Achilles injuries. Those have been coming out of style at this point in time.
Yeah. So let's talk about injuries pertaining to the Denver Broncos since we're on this subject. So let's read through. So Bob Miller, he's on IR. He's out for the season. Courtland Sutton, they placed him on IR today, so he's out for the season. Drew Lock, he's 2 to 6 weeks. So let's meet in the middle. Let's say Drew Lock, he'll be out for about 4 weeks with a AC shoulder sprain. AJ Bouye, he's on short-term IR. Phil Lindsay, he's week to week. I think he has a pretty bad turf toe. And Draymond Jones was ruled out for about 3 weeks today. So, you're talking about significant role players in the Denver Broncos. Some of them are out for the season. You got Drew Lock, the leader. I would say on the offense, he's going to be out for 4 weeks. You got Phil Lindsay. He's out. You got Draymond Jones. He's a very vital piece to that defensive line, and he's out. So, dude, this isn't looking good at all.
No, it's
it's
terrifying, man. And then you're not taking the other ones. This isn't a really big one, but Devontae Harris is injured. DeMarcus Walker is injured. They're basically, the team's done for the season, bro. Let's not kid ourselves. That little faggot that we were talking about from Kansas City. Anybody got the Blazing Saddles reference in there? You're welcome. Him sitting there saying 3-13. It seems like it might come to fruition, but it's not because of a lack of talent. It's just due to the fact that the injury bug's destroying everybody at this point. So,
not a lot you could do.
The better teams just seem to have the luckier hand at this point in time. It's not by sheer talent, it's just by who's been able to stay healthy.
Yeah, and I think if you look, the teams that are probably going to make it pretty far are the ones that are less injured. So the team that stays the healthiest throughout the season, that's going to be the ones that go the furthest. Right. So that's unfortunate, but, hey, it is what it is. So let's shift gears real quick and let's talk about the game and what we noticed and how we felt the game actually went. What's your thoughts on it, Mike?
I'm rather impressed, to be honest with you. I thought there was a lot of grit, a lot of endurance came from a pretty rough situation when Drew Lock went down in the first quarter. And I don't know about you. We weren't live streaming this one. You and I don't even think we talked during the game, so we didn't really get to sit there and jump or bump questions off each other. But I was more shocked to see how well they banded together when my expectation was that they were going to get pretty much just washed. What about yourself?
So there was some definite highlights and there was some lowlights in my opinion. So let's start with the play calling. I didn't watch past the first half on the first game. The second game, I pretty much watched throughout. I was kind of in and out because I was getting so pissed off. I didn't want to yell at the TV. I thought it was smart play calling to combat the pass rush of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers D-line, them is some grown-ass fucking men. And they gave our offensive line all that they can handle. They ran a zone run play to the right. Melvin Gordon was cutting it back. I mean, he was just eating up those holes. And that's how you combat a stout defensive line like that. They was getting a lot of pressure. So to combat that, hey, we're going to run the ball at you. I wish they would have did it more, but they didn't. Like I say, shout out to Melvin Gordon for just hitting those holes.
Absolutely.
I think everybody needs to give a shout out to Sam Martin. From going to Wyman last season to Sam Martin. Yeah, I mean, he's putting us in good field
He's brilliant
position.
out there, dude. Brilliant.
Absolutely. Now, on the flip side of that, let's go to the lowlights. Jerry Jeudy with the drops.
Yeah, dude, that's a weird one though, because we kind of discussed this last night. After we probably had a couple hours to calm down about it, sober up a little bit. My question is this: is Jerry Jeudy incapable of catching a fastball? Because he's dropped 3 from Locke so far. 2 of them, actually, all 3 of them have been pretty crucial moments. But I don't think he dropped a single pass from Driscoll. And we know Driscoll doesn't have the arm talent.
No, I don't think he did. No, so it can be a couple of things that can contribute to this. I see the route that you're going, and yes, I think everybody can agree that Drew Lock has a lot of arm talent. But sometimes you got to learn how to scale it back. You can't throw bullets. You can't throw bombs to everybody. You got to give your receivers you got to give your receivers something to catch. Now, on the flip side of that, some wide receivers, you have to get them early, okay? You got to get them working in the rhythm. You got to get them hot. You got to get them warmed up. Maybe he's suffering from a little bit of that because they're not going to him early enough to kind of build confidence, because you got to understand he is a rookie receiver. Maybe going to him early, getting them passes, getting his confidence up. It almost feels like they're kind of doing that a little bit later. But, who knows? So either way it go, Jerry Jeudy has a case of the yips right now. He's dropped quite a few passes. And I think as highly, praise that he came out of college, I think we kind of expect more from him. So I think we definitely would like to see that get better. Also, the offensive line, I don't know about you, Mike, but I saw 3 very weak holes in this offensive line this past week.
I think I saw one. No, I saw one, and that's it.
You saw one? So I saw 3. Kush, he got beat up.
A couple times.
Hargraves gave him a tough time.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup, though. I'd say for the most part he handled himself pretty well. The interior pressure wasn't that bad. Situations did occur, but it's not like the guy was constantly getting blown into the quarterback. He slipped by him a couple times, but Hargraves is a beast for a reason. They pay him the big bucks because he is what he is. For a rookie center who's in his second NFL game, I'm not upset about it. I thought the interior offensive line is not a concern for me. Left tackle is not a concern for me. So I'll let you do the math for my only issue that I have with the O-line.
Right tackle. So let's talk about the right tackle situation because I've been getting conflicting stories. I've been hearing that he will be benched for DeMar, and I just read probably about a few hours ago that Vic Fangio said that we haven't even thought about that.
Yeah, that
So
makes
are they really going to keep him at right tackle?
it really kind of concerns me if Fangio is saying that like he's pretty no nonsense. So if he was really displeased with the output on the field, I'm pretty sure at some point in time when they asked him that question, he would have broke character a little bit and been like, yeah, we're going to look at some alternative options for this upcoming week, kind of played it political. But he just flat out was like, no, we're not doing that. So that either tells me that they have a boatload of faith in Wilkinson or DeMar Dotson is not performing well in practice.
Yeah. Well, I know it was a little bit of getting him up to steam. I would say getting him acclimated and stuff, but that dude is almost a 10-year vet. I mean, this guy should be rolling by now. So for
Yeah,
him
I don't
to,
understand it.
for him not to be in the game and not playing is obviously something going wrong. Maybe he's not as good as we thought he was, which I'm not saying that he was the best person coming in. I don't think nobody thought that, but I mean, as a 10-year vet almost, we should definitely see something different from this guy. So that's a little bit concerning there.
So I want to go ahead and use your term here, change gears. I want to go to the positives for this week.
Okay, let's go.
So let's go to the defensive side of the ball. Last week we discussed the fact that we had our concerns. Justin Simmons had kind of a down week, given kind of the standards that he set for the team, and justifiably so. The guy's a perennial All-Pro in my opinion. And at the beginning of the game, he was having a rough game, man. It looked like the first couple passes he got burnt on. There just didn't seem to be much passion in the play. And so I even tweeted out that, I was like, what's going on here? And then literally not even 20 seconds after I posted that tweet, dude, the guy gets a pass batted up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
and then he
I
was
definitely
pretty
thought
much,
he played better this week for sure.
yeah. And then for the most part, he was pretty much locked down for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Ejumudia, I'm impressed, dude. Like him. So the way that Callahan's been playing, Ojemutia's been playing, and Bassie have been playing, you would think those guys are at least in year 2 or 3, for not
Mm-hmm.
in their second game starting in the NFL. I have been just shocked at how impressive they've been in the backfield, man.
One thing that I've heard a lot about Ojemudia is that he keeps passing plays in front of him. He rarely lets them get behind him. And we saw this week when he let the play stay in front of him, I mean, he looks phenomenal. Now, he did get beat on one play where the guy got behind him and it wound up for a touchdown. But that was just one. Not making a big deal about that, but I did think Ojemudia played very well this week. Justin Simmons absolutely played very well.
PFF graded
and
Shelby
also,
Harris out as the best defensive lineman against the run this week.
Shelby Harris was everywhere. And let's give a shout out to the outside linebackers. I thought they did a pretty good job too. And so let me ask you this, Mike. What is your thoughts on Noah Fant this week?
I'm still really confused by the offensive play calling regarding him, man. I don't understand it, buddy. I mean, you've got probably a generational tight end talent right now who is, I mean, he's the Gronkowski of our squadron.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's you throw it anywhere inside of his vicinity, the guy's going to catch it. And then on top of that as well, he has the ability to turn up field and truck defenders. I mean, he's a cornerback's nightmare. He destroyed the guy that we traded Pittsburgh for in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand. Last week and this week, last week they only used him in the first half and he had 87 yards. This week they only used him in the second half and he had 57 yards. But he caught everything that was thrown at him. So and the same process as last week. I don't understand what's going on there, dude.
Yeah, that kind of ticked me off. I mean, at some point throughout the game, I was like, where's Noah Fant? I was like, is Noah Fant hurt? I was like, what's going on? They waited until 1 minute left in the third quarter to start throwing the ball his way. And when he did, he caught everything in sight and he caught a touchdown. Why are we not going to him earlier? I mean, so with Sutton out, with Phil Lindsay out, with Drew Lock out, I mean, this guy is going to be your, your most experienced person outside of the quarterback on your offensive side of the ball that you got to be feeding him. You got to feed Noah Fant, feed him early, let him go out there, let him do what he does, get him in the red zone. I mean, we have to use him better than what we have. I mean, you can't use him for one half, then shut him down the next. I mean, I think I agree with you, man. Like Pat Shermer, I don't know what the hell he's doing as far as playing his calls. I don't know if he's still trying to figure shit out, which, I mean, he's been doing this for a long ass time. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, I got to be honest, man. I don't want to sit here and critique the guy because obviously it's not my place. But at the same time, it just strikes so many confusion tactics going on with exactly where we're at on the offense. I mean, to his credit, it seems that he's done better so far with backup quarterbacks in his career than he has the starters. So, i.e., Jeff Driscoll, Case Keenum, what was it, Nick Foles. So all those, when they were backups, taking over a position, they had their breakout careers under that guy. But dude, I don't understand it. I also, since we're on the topic of the tight ends, I just want to say that I'm still mortified over how terrible our tight end position is, man. Because Jake Butt and Nick Vannett are garbage.
Garbage.
Junk,
I mean, dude, I don't know what to say about those losers. When Nick Vannett was in the game, it was just almost like, get him the bleak out of there.
He was a liability.
Yes.
We would have been better off with another offensive lineman. If they, I mean, seriously.
Right. Which I think that goes to show you that after this season, Jake Butt, he's out. I mean, that's even if he even makes it all the way through. That dude may get fucking traded before the season is out. I mean, it's just no value. No value whatsoever.
Yeah, he's a no-show, dude. I mean, it's no wonder why nobody's targeting the dude in the first place. I mean, he had one attempt last week and he dropped the ball. And then this week he had nothing. I mean, he wasn't even on the stat sheet. So I don't. Let's see. Last week he had one reception for 0 yards.
He caught it.
This week he didn't even exist. So
he was on the field. He didn't do shit.
So if you're Pat Shermer right now, I mean, are you just basically chomping at the bit for Okwuegbunam to get past this ankle injury?
I mean, pretty much. I mean, I would much rather see Noah Fant and Okwuegbunam out there just running verts.
Yeah.
Go downfield. Just throw it up to you. Truck, run past the linebackers. Hey, do what you got to do, because other than that, I mean, you ain't got shit else going on at the tight end position. So why not go for it? I mean, this season is not shaping up to be a pretty one. So just try different shit and just see what works. See what you got.
Agreed. Otherwise, though, dude, I mean, Deontay Spencer didn't have a great game in the punt return, but I mean, the Steelers, their special teams is probably second to none. I'd say they're probably the best in the NFL. So kudos to them. They were awesome. But yeah, like you said, Sam Martin was a beast. Brandon McManus, he did pretty good. I mean, he had a 58-yarder that he missed. Does it suck? Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, he's been a clutch kicker for a long time. I can't really discredit him. He was still positive on the day. He was 2 for 3. So the other one I want to give points to, the guy that we kind of both shit on at the beginning of the year,
Hamlin.
And we were rolling our eyes about it. And he showed up, dude. For his first game in the NFL, I was impressed. 3 for 48. He almost had a fourth, which would have tacked on about another 40 yards. So he would have been almost at 100 yards had he caught that one. That in the last minute, I can't remember who was covering him. I think it wasn't Fitzpatrick, somebody else. But whoever was covering him just broke it up last second, dude. And he tried to keep a hold of it. And just with the way impact and force against the ground, it ended up bouncing out of his hands. So, I mean, I thought he had a really impressive day.
I like the way that they used him. jet sweeps, quick outs and different things like that. Just kind of getting him kind of acclimated, kind of getting him going a little bit, and kind of see where we can kind of hurt people with using him. Jet sweeps, quick outs, quick slants and different things like that. I think it can be very useful. But I mean, hey, going forward, they're gonna have to work him in a little bit more because you don't have Sutton anymore. So is put up a shut up for that guy now. So I mean, you got to integrate him more in the offense. You got to draw up specific plays, to get the ball in his hand. Let's really see if he's a playmaker.
I completely agree, dude. But yeah, no. As for our young core, man, I'm really impressed with them. I think this team's got a lot of promise in the future. I think that kind of should lead us into our next segment, though, which is talking about, since we already know that 2020 is pretty much already in the garbage can for us. You want to look to a premature version of what our options are for the 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. So real quick, everybody, me and Mike kind of discussed this before jumping on here, and I think me and him are both in agreement that this year, man, it's going to be a rough one for us to pull anything out with missing so many, prime pieces of our team. It's going to be rough. I mean, let's be honest. So this season, let's do what we can, but let's start looking towards 21 draft. So we're going to look at some premature drafts that kind of came out, and we're going to start talking, draft prospects, different holes on the team that we feel like that needs to be filled this all season, whether if it's in free agency or through the draft.
Everybody. All right. So we'll take a look at what I got going on here. So this is an idea of what our roster is right now. We know that we're going to have at least Locke, Driscoll potentially, Lindsey, Gordon, Freeman might be gone. We should have Bellamy. We're going to have Sutton. We're going to have Judy. We should still have Tim Patrick. I think he's a restricted free agent at the end of the year. So worst case scenario, we won't have him. We'll have Hamler. I don't think Hamilton will make it through to the next roster. Deontay Spencer, not sure there. Tyree Cleveland. Nick Vannett will be gone. Jake Butt will be gone. We'll have Alberto. Andrew Beck will probably be gone. Kush, Schlotman will probably be gone. Glasgow will have him. Reisner, Moody, DeMar Dotson. I don't know.
He's gone.
He's going to be gone. Bowles. I'm going to guess they'll end up paying Bowles by the end of the season, dude. I've been really impressed with him. Wilkinson, they'll maybe keep him on as a depth piece. I don't know. Calvin Anderson, I think he'll be around. I'm kind of curious when they're going to give him an opportunity right now. He's just hanging out on the practice squad. But, I mean, that's a big body.
Yeah, who knows? So 6'5", 300.
Yeah.
That's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a pretty solid-sized dude. Obviously, McTelvin, Jarrell Casey. I think we have him till next year, right? Because of the trade with the Titans, we have his contract until next year?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember what the extent of it was, but so McTelvin, obviously, Draymond Jones, we got him, Chubb. Hopefully he stays healthy, man. I know this is gonna be a rough season on him now. Shelby Harris, you don't think they'll extend him again? I think they will.
For his asking price, I don't know.
Well, I mean, they got him for what was like $2.5 million, so that was pretty impressive. Obviously, he was okay taking a pay cut to stay, so maybe he'll do it again. I don't know. Anthony Chiquilo, we don't even know if that guy exists at this point. Mike Purcell, they'll keep him another year.
Yeah, DeMarcus Walker won't make it.
No, he won't. Tusco will have him. Mark Barron, he won't make it. Atachu, they'll probably keep him again.
Think so.
He's been a clutch player for us. Malik Reed, I don't know about that one. AJ's not going anywhere. Josie Jewell, maybe. He might be gone. Calitro, he won't be here. Joe Jones won't be here. Kareem Jackson, maybe not. I think this year's the end of his contract. Bryce Callahan, maybe not. I think this is the end of his contract too. Oh, no, we got him through next year.
Yeah, but I think, I'm going to look at and see what is his – if we get rid of him, what is his dead cap? Because, what has he done to warrant for us keeping him around again? So let's see on that one.
Exactly, yeah. So it's going to be a kiss and tell kind of story. Sangbasi, Ojemudia, Bosby. I think Bosby will be gone, unfortunately. I like the guy, but I mean, he's
Mm-hmm.
just not going to be there. Duke Dawson probably won't make it. Devontae Harris, I can give a shit less about that guy anyways. I don't understand why he's around. Trey Marshall, they'll
They're really high
probably,
on him.
yeah, they'll probably keep him. Justin Simmons, obviously, he's not going to go anywhere. Bobin Moyer will keep him. He's made it through a couple camps now. Sam Martin will stay, and McManus obviously got his extension. So,
Mm-hmm.
so out of all those, dude, what would you say is our biggest weak spot?
I still think right tackle is still our biggest weak spot.
Okay, so
You
let's
know,
go
you
ahead and
can't depend on James. You can't depend on Wilkinson. So, I mean, you got to address that. And I think there's some pretty solid right tackles coming out of this draft, or tackles in general that's coming out of this draft.
right, but you got to think specifically right tackle, bro. So
Mm-hmm.
like if you were to look, like Alex Leatherwood, he was a left tackle for Alabama. Penei Sewell, he was a left tackle for Oregon. Sam Cosme, I haven't done enough research on him. Walker Little, he's
I believe it's a
left.
left.
He's left tackle. I know the dude out of Washington State is a right tackle. Where the hell's his name at? Maybe they're not. Yeah, Abraham Lucas. I know he's a pretty decent right tackle. So I mean, there's options. Of course, O tackle you there with Iowa.
Yes, sir.
So if you had pick of the litter, because by looks of it, we're probably going to be a top 5 draft pick this year,
Mm-hmm.
top 10 at the most. Who would you go with?
Well, Sewell, I don't think you can go wrong with him. Little, again, he was rated pretty high before he decided to go back. Alex Leatherwood, you know, he was highly considered before he decided to go back. I mean, you can always use somebody from Iowa. You know, Iowa produces very good, just overall talent out of that school.
I heard things about this guy too. He kind of went under the radar just because Tennessee's
Which
always
guy?
Trey Smith out of Tennessee,
Okay.
just because of the fact that they're always an underachieving team. So
Mm-hmm. Don't know much about Tennessee.
Liam
I
Eichenberger's
don't.
another one.
Yeah. So I think definitely in the first round, I think tackle is definitely something that they should address.
Sorry, I was thinking of Cade Mays, not the other one. So I'll have to look into Trey Smith. I was thinking of Cade Mays, but yeah, no, there's a fair amount of options. North Dakota
Mm-hmm.
State, they've obviously become notorious with just how wonderful they've been. That also leads me to another question, bro. So, are you set on Locke? Do you think
Am
Locke
I
is the
set on
future?
lock? Yes. I'm set on lock. You know, it's just, dude, it's just been a rough shake. The first couple of weeks, you know, I think week one, I think we can both agree that play calling probably didn't do him any favors. The start of this game with Pittsburgh was very rocky. It was very rough. And then, I mean, he did get hurt as well. So I'm still on the lock train.
Okay, I'll play devil's advocate for this one. It's not that I'm not on the
Mm-hmm.
lock train. It's a matter of I got to be honest, dude. The snaps that he's taken this year, I mean, they were basically Trevor Siemian-esque with more arm talent. Like he didn't turn the ball over, but he didn't do anything that it was just boring football. It wasn't anything that's like, oh yeah, let's get the team riled up. Nothing. And then he took that crucial sack. Now he's injured again. So I don't know, man. Like his mobility hasn't really been there. I mean, he's still, like I said, he's been doing good not turning the ball over, minus that sack fumble, but that's because he was getting destroyed. So,
Yeah, but he has extended plays using his feet. I mean, he doesn't take, he doesn't, it's not like he's oblivious to, okay, I feel pressure. Let me extend the play, unlike certain people that we've had before in the past.
he still has
Um,
only had one 300-yard game, dude. I mean, that's pretty underwhelming.
yeah, but again, play calling hasn't done him any favors because with Rich Scangarillo, he didn't know. I mean, he basically in the second half, he's shutting down. Was like, yeah, we're gonna play not to lose, and we all know what happens when you play not to lose.
Well,
you play like shit.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to talk you out of it because that's not the point of this. But let's say that we completely dive bomb and Drew Lock ends up not being or not looking like the true answer. Which with the talent he's got around him, there's no way he can't. So, like I said, if he underwhelms, do you tank for Trevor, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Jamie Newman, the old Wake Forest kid? I wouldn't go for Kyle Trask, but that's just me. So you've got, let's say your top 10 and you've got these quarterbacks on the board. Do you look at one of them?
I mean, for the sake of the conversation, yeah. So I mean, of course, I mean you have to look at Lawrence. I mean, of course, anybody and everybody is going to look at that guy first. Then of course you go in, you look at Trey Fields. I mean, not Trey Fields. You go in, you look at Fields next. So I think that's what I go with there. But
what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about Trey Lance?
He's toolsy. I'm just not 100%. Again, I got to watch more film on him. I have watched a bunch of highlight reels of him. I got turned on to him last season, and of course, this guy's gonna make major headways. But again, I just got to go back and watch more film on him. North Dakota State is not a team that I particularly watch. We probably should because they're putting out such good talent, but I just had to watch more film on them.
Yeah, well, obviously they just picked up Tuska, so they have been recruiting out of there.
Yeah, for sure.
But I would say the other detrimental part of our defense is inside linebacker position. Next to AJ, dude, which, I mean, let's not kid ourselves. He's getting older too. We got nobody. We literally have nobody. We got
absolutely. I would absolutely agree. So I would say outside of offensive tackle, let's say the offensive tackle doesn't fall the way you want to, definitely an inside linebacker is the way I'm going. I think I said this a long time ago. The guy from Penn State, he definitely should be our first round pick. We was under the impression that we wasn't going to be in reach for him, but after these first two games, we're probably going to be within the top 10. So I think he will fall the way we need him to fall.
So you think he's a top 10 worthy pick?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, that's good food for thought then for the season. So that's something we got to look forward to.
I think he is a game wrecker on defense. Now, the guy from Alabama, I like him. I've been watching him for a while. He's probably not as good in coverage as Pearson's, but still a very good player. If you miss out on him, the guy from Alabama, you still can't go wrong. Even the guy from LSU too, still a very athletic guy.
Yeah, I'm going to be more intrigued to see Damon Clark this season over anything else. I like Dylan Moses. Obviously, Alabama, they produce inside linebackers, outside linebackers, and D-line like it's going out of style. But at the same time, a torn ACL in college is a concern for me. It's nothing personal.
Let's stay away from stuff like that because I think we've had enough of torn ACLs and, I mean, you name it.
Yeah, we've had a rough. I mean, and I'm not discrediting Bradley Chubb, but I mean he's 2 ACL tears down now. So, one of them being when he was at North Carolina State, and the other one being with us last season. So when we get guys who are a little bit battered up, they have a tendency to stay injured. So, if I had pick of the litter, I would probably be looking offensive tackle in the first round, depending on the situation with the quarterback and how it plays out. Worst case scenario in that one, I'd go with Trey Lance. Best case scenario, Trevor Lawrence, obviously. I mean, he seems like a generational talent. So if that's not an option, then offensive tackle if the quarterback plays out with Locke. Otherwise, I'd be looking inside linebacker. So,
okay, can we look at cornerbacks?
We absolutely can.
Okay. Patrick, he's rated number 1. Is Stingley number 2? Sean Wade, okay. He was very high last year.
Wasn't he the
Okay,
one?
I'm sorry.
Didn't he get ejected during the championship, the FBS
I
game?
believe I believe he got ejected against Clemson, I think.
For
But he
targeting, right?
played I'm not 100% sure, but he did get ejected, and he played extremely well. I
Yeah.
think
Right. It
he
it
even
was
played
by a
better
total
than the other
fluke he got
kid.
kicked.
Yeah.
So, but if I'm,
Scroll down some more. Okay.
we'll have to monitor that guy. I hadn't even heard of him until looking right now.
Right.
Paulson Adebo, right? We all knew
We
about
heard
that,
of him before. Yeah.
right? We thought
A
he was
little
going to go in
slower.
this one.
Yep.
J.C. Horn, I haven't followed him, so that's on me. Wow, it looks like South Carolina's got a couple of them, huh?
Mm-hmm. So 4 or 5 guys.
Kerry Vincent Jr.
Curious about him because I know Stingley is the guy on that in that secondary.
This guy's nasty. I was watching him play the other day, Aaron Robinson, and he's pretty clutch, especially in that division.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, he's definitely a guy that we probably need to keep our eye on. I think that's just the 3 positions that we definitely should target first. Everything else just kind of falls in line after that.
Maybe they're not projecting Stingley to go in this one. See if they got him for the 2022.
Yeah, because I think Stingley was a freshman last year. So he's in his
Yeah, there you go.
sophomore.
Bam.
Stingley. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Just a year early on that guy.
God damn it! I'll give you a 5-star experience, son of a bitch. So, yeah, Sean. Okay, so Sean Wade potentially next year too. Yeah, so I don't know, man. Like in that position, we still got most of our draft picks from next year. I mean, they always done pretty well with that. Not trading the house for players that really are going to serve us no purpose. He's
Right.
been him and Joe Sakic, dude. Those guys are like the no trade GMs.
So, question. So, hearing me before we get out of this, what does Walter Football have us at as far as where we're picking? Because I know they already put out a mock draft already. So, just curious to see where they got us at. Oh, wow.
Nice.
Just number 1.
Obviously, the Darnold effect is over. Jaguars, man, dude, they are really discrediting that kid, man. Gardner Minshew.
Right. Minshew mania is real. I don't.
Yeah.
Nah, I
That
don't
kid's
see
a
that
beast.
one happening. Okay. Carolina Panthers going with Sewell. Okay. Detroit is going to DN from Miami. Okay, he's good.
Yeah, he is.
Cincinnati,
That
Jamar
team
Chase.
Miami's looking real good.
Yes, sir. And Chicago, Walker Little.
I don't like the fact that they've already got us this high on the ratings, man. These pre-draft rankings. They're really shortchanging how bad we are right now.
Number 8, Alex Leatherwood. Okay.
Dolphins.
Jaguars twice.
Oh, the Ramsey trade.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So their first one must have been the Rams. So I'm going to guess they're projecting this to be the Rams trade.
Oh, man, they got us ranked. I mean, they thinking we winning some games.
Shiraz, you are. Shiraz, you are, gentlemen. Oh, we're better than the Cowboys. We're better than the Cowboys.
As long as we're better than the Cowboys.
Take that.
All right, so Paulson Adebo. Okay, everybody, this is a name that we've heard quite a bit. You should already know the talent. So we'll just kind of keep monitoring it. I'm assuming that they may have updated this, last week sometime?
Probably about 6 weeks ago.
No, 6 weeks ago. Yeah, so obviously they haven't updated this. So, I mean, surely right now the Denver Broncos are a little bit higher on that list. So, we'll just kind of keep monitoring it week by week and kind of see, okay, what are the mock drafts looking like for the Denver Broncos?
They have the Raiders being better than us. That's brutal. I don't even know. How's that crap team doing right now?
I don't know. Fuck the Raiders.
No, absolutely. I mean, they're garbage. But at the same time, I want to ensure that they're losing too. So, they're winning.
What's the record?
17-20. Well, if they win tonight, it's gonna be 2-0.
Oh wow. Who they playing tonight?
The Saints.
Ooh. I'm gonna say no, but I could be wrong.
Well, Derek Carr's 21-28 for 223 and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And Drew Brees is 12 of 21, 176, a touchdown and a pick. So.
Yeah, but Derek Carr is ultra safe with that fucking football.
Doesn't seem to be right now.
That's disappointing. Dude, if we go last in our division in the AFC West, that's going to suck ass.
Well, it's not great, but at the same time, I mean, we just got punched in the mouth when it came to injuries. Literally half our team dropped off. So what can you do? You weather the storm to the best of your abilities, try to tuck your tail, maybe catch 4 or 5 wins for the season and then whatever. I'm not upset about it. It's one thing if we've got a healthy team and we're stinking. It's another thing when you're just basically trying to call everybody up from the practice squad and say, hey, you know what? Can you play? Okay, you're a heartbeat and you can kind of chase a ball. You're in.
Wow.
Welcome to professional sports. So, but all right, guys. So that pretty much kind of wraps up what we had going for, just current state of affairs with the Broncos. The injury riddled bug, man, it's brutal, but it is what it is.
All right, everybody, that's going to wrap up tonight podcast. Sorry we wasn't a little bit more positive about the state of affairs that's going on, but I mean, I think we're pretty realistic on how we feel. But, again, like, share, subscribe, follow us on Twitter. If you notice anything else or a different position and need that you think the Denver Broncos need to address, leave us a message in our inbox and we'll bring it up on the pod.
Yeah, or if you guys hate the Raiders, just make sure you give us a thumbs up too. So make sure like and subscribe right down. Right down here, baby. So, all right, buddy. We'll catch you next session. This has been another episode of the Uncommon Man Pod. We hope you guys enjoy, and we will see you in a few days.
Later.